Make sure to check out today's sponsor, Blazing Boost, one of the most reliable boosting services for Destiny. They do trials, raids, anything like that, even do your pinnacle weapons if you guys still haven't got them, and they do have the cheapest prices around. They also have a 5-star review, and it's really good, and it's definitely one you should check out. There'll be a link in the description. With that done, let's jump straight back to the video. Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be showing you one of the best DPS weapons in the game. Now we're going to be doing a few tests to actually find out which weapon is the highest DPS one in my opinion, and hopefully to back it up with some stats. Now this is just going to be obviously preference, and I'm just going to show you sort of the stat values of each of these weapons. If I've missed out one of the highest DPS weapons and you think I've made a mistake, let me know down in the comment section below. But if you guys are new, if you could hit that like, subscribe to the channel, it does really help, and we are trying to hit that 30k mark. We're getting so close, and if you could help towards that, I would appreciate it a lot. But without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So I've got pretty much some of the highest DPS weapons in my opinion, and ones that we're going to be talking through. So we have the Sleeper, which is an old classic and it's still really underrated. Whisper, Leviathan's Breath, and Xenophage. Now obviously we have swords, but this is going to be exotic only, exotic heavy weapon only. And obviously swords can be really good in certain situations. But for the fairest test, what we're going to do is head on over to Nessus, over to the Tribute Hall, and we're going to see obviously which weapon does in fact have the best DPS and sort of when to use it. Now like I said, this is going to be my opinion. I'm going to explain sort of situations where you're going to need different weapons. Now the one that we will pick today is obviously going to be judged on stats and sort of scenarios, so it may not be the highest DPS weapon per shot, but it's going to be the overall best weapon to use, if that makes any sense. So what we're going to try out first is going to be the old favourite, and the one that everyone used to run is Sleeper. This weapon, you can get it from a quest, comes with moving target, composite, stock, flared magwell, polygonal rifling. This weapon's laser over-penetrates enemies and retracts off hard surfaces. This thing used to be one of the best weapons in the game by far. Right, so we're going to pick up the heavy, and we're obviously going to try this out right now. Now, I'm pretty sure this is going to be an underrated one, and it's one not that many people have actually used, guys. Pretty much, I think it was the DLC, so Forsaken, when that dropped, this is what every single person was using. So we're going to test these out, obviously, on these big enemies right here. These yellow bars are obviously the hardest enemies in the game. Now, to make it a fair test, what I'm going to do is stand here at the edge of this gold, so everything's going to be the same distance, and we're going to simply find out what the damage does. So for this ogre, one shot does in fact do 33,000. So we're going to try it again just to make sure. So yeah, 33,895, and that is going to be 4 shots from the Sleeper, which is really good. Now the one thing that's really good about the Sleeper, and obviously it's super easy to use, you can use this anywhere. It's a really good weapon. So let's try it again. Make sure it's a free shot, hitting them crits. So 4 shots. Now the damage you can put out, the one thing obviously that's a disadvantage for the Sleeper is obviously its magazine size. It's not the best. I think it can hold a little bit more. But to make it a fair test, what I've done, guys, is put the blue Solstice armor on with no mods or anything like that. So that this is just a standard sort of weapon video. So let's swap to the next one, and we're going to try out the Whisper, which is obviously going to be becoming what a lot of people use in certain raids and that. So mulligan, fitted stock, and obviously this is a Whisper catalyst. So what we're going to do is we're going to test it without, and then we will test it with the catalyst to see sort of what damage this does. Now, one thing about the Whisper that's really good is obviously the range. You can sit back and get a kill from a distance, whereas the others you can't really do that as well. But up close, this is where it's going to struggle most. So what we're going to do is do it without. So 17,000 without obviously that perk from the catalyst. And as you can see, it's pretty slow. It takes around about half a mag to actually, well, half of the actual full ammo to kill. Now with its obviously catalyst, it's doing a little bit more damage. And as you can see, it is pretty powerful, dropping 23,000 per headshot. So overall, it's a decent weapon. I wouldn't say it's the best weapon to use, in my opinion, compared to the Sleeper. We've still got to do other tests, but for me, definitely not the Whisper. Now, the perk that it does come with, obviously you get higher damage, rapidly landing 3 precision shots will refill the magazine, so you never really have to reload if you can hit the crits. But for me, this is just so situational, and it's one you shouldn't really be using sort of for everything. If it's a long range enemy or like a boss or anything like that, like Callus, it's really good because obviously you've got that distance, but anything up close, this isn't the one you should be really using. Now the next one we're going to try out is the Leviathan's Breath. Now I've not tested this out in a while. Someone said to actually use this to me, so I thought I'd put it in the list because he said it's a really good underrated weapon and it's one nobody really uses. Now let me just show you what this weapon does. So the mods: chain bowstring, fiberglass, arrow, Leviathan sigh, creates a large concussive blast that knocks combatants back. So it knocks them back, and obviously this is his big perk, Big Game Hunter. Fires a massive heavy bolt that staggers unshielded combatants, strong against unstoppable champions. So it's good for nightfalls or anything like that. 10 in the mag isn't too bad, I suppose, but the only fault is you do have to draw it back really quick. As you can see, 34,000, so it's higher than the Sleeper. It's still going to be that 4-shot, so it's still a 4-shot, and obviously it's got 1 extra ammo, so it is pretty good. However, as you can tell, it's really slow at firing, especially when you've got to charge it back until it goes green, because if you don't do that you won't be getting the maxed. So it's about 35,000 with the added damage. As you can tell, it's really close to killing it in 3 shots, but it's not. So overall, it's a decent DPS weapon in my opinion. I wouldn't say it's as good as a Sleeper. I think the Sleeper's the best one we've seen yet because you can use it in pretty much any situation. This you can as well, but it does take a lot more skill and a lot more time to obviously kill enemies with the drawback. Now the final weapon I want to test in today's video. Hopefully you guys do enjoy these types of videos where we test out these weapons. Leave some suggestions on what you want me to test out next for the DPS, and obviously for me to give you my opinion on what the best weapons are to use. But this full bow, high caliber rounds, rangefinder, composite stock and pyrotoxin rounds, fires high powered explosive ammunition. Now a lot of people have said this is the best. As you can see, it does have a lot in obviously the gun. Now we're going to stand exactly where we was before. I'm going to see what sort of crit shot it hits. Now, like I said, you can't get crit shots with this, so this is where it does lack. But 13,000 per shot, you are going to be getting quite a lot of damage. Now that was just me tapping it, so we're going to reload it, and I'm going to show you pretty much how fast this weapon can kill and whether it is worth using. Now if you had like heavy ammo reserves or something like that where you got more ammo, this would be really good. So we'll see how it does when I'm fully automatically firing it. And like I said, because you can't actually get crit shots, you will just be able to hit the body and do the same damage, which is a really good thing at range. So we'll see how fast this actually can kill. So as you can tell, that was pretty quick. Probably the fastest out of everything, in my opinion, to kill. Now it doesn't matter what range you sort of at, I don't think. I'm not sure why this keeps glitching out. obviously going, but I'm pretty sure if you stand further away, it still does around about the same damage. The fall off is really good for this weapon, and it's definitely an underrated weapon that I see not that many people using. So after testing these weapons out, now I did test them obviously after this gameplay that you're seeing in the background is just me talking over it, but I tested these out, and I have to say, for me, I think the sleeper is probably the best weapon to use overall. Now, it's not the fastest time to kill, don't get me wrong. It's not the highest DPS, I don't think. I think there is obviously that with the Leviathan's Breath that does more, but I think for every sort of situation, so I did a test overall on pretty much all the PvE activities like raids, that sort of thing, and I felt the sleeper was one of the best options to use. It just felt like you could use it anywhere, didn't really affect it what sort of range you was at, what you was doing, like nightfalls, really good for them. Obviously PvE activities, this is what you want to try out. Now, it really shocked me when I was testing these weapons out, because I always thought that the sleeper after the nerf wasn't going to be that good, but a lot of people are sleeping on it. So make sure you guys check it out. Let me know if you agree with me on this, that the sleeper is the best weapon to use DPS wise for every situation. Like I said, if you're fighting a boss that's the long range, Whisper's going to be really good. There isn't really a highest DPS weapon in the game as such, because it obviously is situational. But like I said, for certain situations, sleeper, definitely the best weapon, especially a heavy slot, in my opinion. But if you guys did enjoy this test, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment on how I can improve these. This is the first test I've really done, so let me know. That's pretty much going to wrap it up. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I should be back with another video this week, and I'll be doing some more streams over on Twitch this weekend for trials. So if you need help, head on over there, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.